curious about the type of vessel we're cruising in. Traditionally called bumboats or lanterns, these barges were used to transport cargo from ships anchored offshore near the mouth of our Singapore River to the warehouses along the river as early as 150 years ago. In 17th century Europe, they were first used as scavenger or dirt boats to carry rubbish. But some scholars have also agreed that the word bumboat means exactly as it sounds, a ship's bottom or a smaller boat pandering to larger ships. In Singapore, though, bumboats are also called tonggangs, from the Malay name given to the timber used to build them, and used for transport between islands. Bumboats are also referred to by the Chinese as dwakors. These boats proudly originated in Singapore, with hulls developed by the local Chinese. Hokkien dwakors are the most colorful, with both heads painted bright red, green, and white, while Teochew dwakors were painted a solid red. Now, if you're thinking that the bumboats look like they have eyes painted on them, you're not wrong. According to Chinese legend, these boats were designed by a crafty Chinese emperor who was not in favor of foreigners interfering with his expeditions. So he had eyes painted on his boats to ward off evil and to symbolize good luck. It's also believed that the eyes enable bumboats to see and guide passengers on board safely to their destination. So whether you believe in legend or superstition, we can all agree that these colorful, distinctive boats are certainly eye-catching. Did you know that bumboats often disappeared in the Singapore River during a massive cleanup of our waterways in the early 80s? However, they made a triumphant return to the Singapore River and were given a new lease of life as pleasure craft by Singapore River Cruises. From a humble fleet of just 4 bumboats, that number has grown steadily to preserve our river's charming heritage. In 2006, Singapore River Cruises championed the environmentally friendly cause by creating the world's first electric bumboat. In fact, this very boat we're cruising in is part of our electric bumboat fleet. As we'll soon be saying goodbye to what remains of a bygone era of life along the Singapore River, perhaps you'd like to hear a little more about her rich past. From the southern part of the island, these river waters truly thrum with the lifeblood of Singapore. You've heard a few stories of the early days, how the Singapore River transformed from a sparsely populated swamp to an important port for merchants and traders who docked their boats and built their businesses along the riverbanks. The Singapore River flourished into a busy, overcrowded port and became home to an ever-growing community whose livelihood